Hi, here we are in Chicago, and we have Susana Sandoval, a candidate for Senate and a media business person. Please explain to us, Capital Intelligence, Black Business News, why you're running for Senate and how your media enterprise will help you to create jobs in Illinois.
Sure. So my name is Susana Sandoval. I'm currently a candidate for the U.S. Senate race in the primary of March 2016 and the general election for 2016. I am a native Chicagoan who is generally interested in seeing the state of Illinois and the rest of our nation proceed forward. As a small business owner, I own a firm of media, marketing, and PR. I grew up in a family-owned media outlets, print media, for over 30 years, and we've done a little bit of work over the 30 years of being in business with many business owners here in the state of Illinois, but also nationally with other small business owners who just happen to be publishers as well. We've partnered either in for-profit enterprises or we've done a lot of work in the nonprofit sector. I also too have done a fair amount of work in the nonprofit sector. So I'm really gracious and grateful to have the opportunity to engage with this audience. I think one of the most important things in this U.S. Senate election is having someone who has the business skill set and understands how the small business community needs to work and partner with the other sectors in order to equilibrate the work that we're doing right now. Unfortunately, right now obviously it's great to have the larger corporations and the support of that corporate sector within our larger society, but what we have is a challenge to have a better balance of activity and participation for our constituents. And so for your audience, for this readership and this audience that's being developed and it's very active in the electoral process, I think that we need to be able to understand that outside of someone who wants and seeks public office, has a specific skill set that could be used in order to garner processes that are actually efficient and you can actually accomplish goals. And so in the line of work that I do, what I do is I help come in and advise. I meet with what I would call some constituents, stakeholders in the process, and then I advise and create a work plan. And the work plan gets executed and it's built in conjunction with the actual stakeholders, very much like how public servants are supposed to operate.
One of the things, like job creation, is neither Republican or Democrat. It's an objective benchmark. You can show that we've created jobs. We have this whole entrepreneurial class. African American community is one of the #1 people who want to create new businesses, are the most entrepreneurial in our society. How can you help the access to capital? Because we have the big banks who want to lend money to them, but in the middle there's all these kind of bottlenecks. And then we have this whole suburban, the new economy, the social media where the money goes from the suburban guy from Stanford University who gives it to his other suburban guy, and that money was supposed to be in the Jobs Act, which was meant by Timothy Geithner to go to veterans, minority, and women-owned enterprises. How do we get that message across that these are the companies that will be growing in America, and this is where this money should be invested?
Sure. So we have a great opportunity. We have the skill set of two very wise women that are currently operating our Small Business Administration. And I have met with both Maria Contreras Sweet and also Alejandra Ceja, who's handling the National Minority Development Side agency for two different divisions that are working in that. I think that we have the skill set right now currently at the table in the current administration in order to partner more at the regional level and also locally in order to encourage that economic opportunity to flourish. You're right, I started having already some initial conversations with some banking institutions and also with the city treasurer here in Chicago in order to talk about launching initiatives for access to capital. And I think that the key for Illinois' future is to reinvest its assets and minimize our liabilities and encourage the flourishments and the activity in the small business sector. And so I will do the best that I can, obviously, because I am a small business owner and I do know how challenging it is to get access to capital. If you're not borrowing from your Aunt Susie or your Tia Maria or your Aunt, Joe who loved you and, saw you grow up, And if you can't go to family, if you have access to family capital, I mean, you're really going to have to save during a process of perhaps working full time. And if you're a single woman raising a family, you're going to have less access to capital. And so one of the things that I've proposed to both Maria Contreras Sweet and Alejandra Ceja and their staff is that we do more regional activity for the SBA office. And this is a very important week. It's Small Business Week. And so kudos to those of you that are actually small business owners, because we do make America work.
Thank you.